Good morning YouTubians, it's Kermit's Ghost. You can call me Alan. So, as the thumbnail title suggests, this is very exciting news for my channel. I've been in talks with an Australian company called Vision for the last few months. They put out films on the Imprint Label. This is why I had this hat made up for this video. I'll put a link in the description to their website and their Instagram page. They've sent me a box set to open and review on my channel, so fantastic. But before I do that, I would like to say a quick thank you to Owen over at Vision for giving me this fantastic opportunity. I've ordered from their company before over the years. They are a great company. They put out some top quality releases. And here is that box set. The After Dark Neo-Noir box set. 6 films in here, some of which are first releases in the world. Now, in case you're unfamiliar with the term noir, it simply translates as dark film or films with dark themes, made mostly between the mid-40s through to the 60s. And neo-noir, which this set contains, are more of a modern take, having still the dark themes but with a more modern feel. I have to say I love the design of this box. It's got this lid with a unique angular hinge on there, and the box itself is really sturdy as well, which is always a bonus. There's nothing worse than a flimsy box. I love that all these films come in separate cases as well. It's a big bonus for me. So what I'll do, I'll put this down now and I'll talk about the films individually. So these are the films inside. There's also this 60-page book which I will go into in just a second, but first we'll take a quick look at the box. So here's the box. The wrapper is off. I've watched all the films, which is important if you're going to review something, I feel. The box is sturdy. As I said, you've got this angular sort of cut to the box, so it slots in and sort of locks in, if you like. Very sturdy box. They've coloured it inside pink. You've got a J card on the back, which has all the extras listed on each release. I will put a picture up in the corner of the cases with all the extras listed. You've got Demi Moore there on the front for Mortal Thoughts. You've got a list of the films on this side, and the title to the box set on the top. So, lovely box set. That will look nice on the shelf. It is the same size as a Blu-ray, so if your shelves are made like mine are for Blu-rays, this will fit on there perfectly. Okay, so I'll start off with the title that the box set was named after. It is After Dark, My Sweet. This movie is from 1990. All the films in the box set, by the way, cover titles from 1990 through to 1998. This is directed by James Foley, the man behind Glengarry, Glen Ross, Who's That Girl and The Chamber. He also co-wrote the screenplay in this alongside Robert Redlin. Now this one stars Jason Patric as a drifter with mental health problems. You've got Rachel Ward as well and Bruce Dern. It's the story of an ex-boxer called Kevin Kid Collins, played by Jason Patric. He meets a widow named Faye, played by Rachel. They get chatting in a bar. Bartender tries to throw him out for no good reason, and Collins knocks him out in one punch. Then Faye picks him up outside in her car, takes him back to her place, tells him that he can live in a trailer behind her house if he helps maintain the grounds to her property. Then the situation gets a little bit worse when Bruce Dern's character turns up. Uncle Bud, he's a crooked ex-cop, tries to get Kevin as an accomplice to kidnapping a child. So we have a film here where all the characters are flawed. You've got Jason's character, Kevin, he has mental health issues. You've got Faye, an alcoholic, and Uncle Bud is a corrupt ex-cop. So it is a ticking time bomb about to go off. The performances in this are just brilliant, especially from Jason Patric. He is on top form, and the picture quality on this disc is absolutely crystal clear. It's got a runtime of 1 hour 51 minutes and comes with a whole bunch of special features. Let's take a look inside. So there is a reverse image on the front cover. So the image from the cover has been put onto the disc. So that was After Dark, My Sweet. Okay, so the next movie to show you is Mortal Thoughts, and this is a world's first release for this film. The movie is told in flashback form during a police interrogation being conducted by Harvey Keitel's character, Detective John Woods. He's interviewing Cynthia Kellogg, played by the beautiful Demi Moore. Now Cynthia is claiming that her former employer and best friend Joyce, played by Glenn Headley, is responsible for murdering her husband Jimmy, played, by the way, by Bruce Willis. Brilliantly, I may add. It's a very different role for Bruce Willis. Jimmy in this is a nasty piece of work. He's been abusing Joyce for a long time, and she claims that she killed him out of self-defense. She does actually try to poison him at one point with rat poison mixed with sugar, but there's more to the story than that. There is a twist in this, but don't worry, I'm not going to tell you what it is. This also stars John Pankow as Artie. He's married to Cynthia. Now John Pankow you might know from Johnny Be Good and Monkey Shines. Glenn, who sadly passed away aged just 62 in 2017, you'll know from Dirty Rotten Scoundrels as well as Dick Tracy. This is directed by Alan Randolph, who's worked with Bruce and Glenn before on Breakfast of Champions, which is a black comedy put out in 1999. And this film, by the way, is from 1991, and it's very, very underrated. It's got a runtime 1 hour 42 minutes, and I will say, picture quality is very good. It's not crystal clear, but it never has been. I saw this when it first came out, and this is the best it's ever looked. Let's take a look inside. So there's the image on the disc there, Demi Moore's eyes. As I said, this is a world's first Blu-ray release for this, so you know, if you want this Bruce Willis Demi Moore film, then you're gonna have to get this box set, and I recommend it because this is an amazing film. And there's also artwork on the reverse of the cover. So that was Mortal Thoughts. Okay, next title to show you is Rush. Now this is a crime drama from 1991 starring Jason Patric, who was actually cast in this after the director Lily Finney-Zanuck saw his performance in After Dark My Sweet. So it gives you an idea of what his performance was like in that film. And this is the only movie that Lily actually directed. Jennifer Jason Leigh also stars in this alongside Sam Elliott and William Sadler. So it's got a very impressive cast right there. Now be warned, this is not an easy watch. Rush sees two undercover cops, Jim and Christian, played by Jennifer and Jason, sadly go a little bit too far undercover. The film itself was written by an ex-undercover narcotics officer, Kim Ramsey Wozencraft, who went through a very similar experience, although I will point out that this isn't autobiographical. The movie itself is set in Texas in the 1970s, and you've got two undercover cops who are actually reluctant to take drugs at first. Christian, who is fresh out of the academy, and she's chosen by Jason to be his like undercover partner, if you like. They get a little bit too involved with the drugs and each other. They're forced at gunpoint during the drugs deal to take drugs, and soon after they're completely hooked on them, but they can't get solid evidence against a drug lord, so they decide to take and fake their own findings. Greg Allman is a singer-songwriter. He plays the drug lord Will Gaines, and that's all I'm going to say. The picture quality in this is along the same lines as Mortal Thoughts. It's excellent in places, a little bit grainy in others, but overall very good. Film's got a runtime of exactly 2 hours. Let's take a look inside. So on the disc we have an image of the two undercover officers. So on the reverse you have an image there of Jason Patric, the undercover officer. And I'm going to point out actually on all these covers, all the age logos have been removed. So that was Rush. Next title to show you from the box set is One False Move. It's a crime thriller from 1992, directed by Carl Franklin, a man behind two Denzel Washington films, Devil in a Blue Dress and Out of Time, as well as Morgan Freeman's High Crimes. So a good director there. Again, this is the first time this has been released anywhere in the world on Blu-ray. Co-written and starring Billy Bob Thornton and starring his ex-wife Cinda Williams, as well as Bill Paxton and Michael Beach. Now Billy Bob, Cinda and Michael are on the run. They've crashed a birthday party, they've taken a man hostage, they lead him to a house where they know that cash and drugs are being held, and they get him to gain access as he knows the occupants. And then they kill half a dozen people from both houses, stealing the drugs and cash, and then they hit the road and head to Star City in Arkansas, where Sheriff called Dell Hurricane Dixon is working. Now Dixon is played by the late Bill Paxton, who was always on point. The trio of killers are being pursued by a couple of LAPD detectives who intend to team up with Dixon to stop the killers from escaping. Now, as with noir films, things seldom work out for the protagonist. Again, there is a twist in the story. I won't say what it is, but they're heading to Star City for a reason. That's all I'm going to tell you. It's got a runtime of 1 hour 45 minutes. The pitch quality, again, slight mix of grain with excellent clarity. Let's take a look inside. There's the image on the disc. And on the reverse of the cover there is an image as well. So that is One False Move. Next title to show you out the box set is Flesh and Bone, a mystery thriller from 1993. Very impressive cast this one. Dennis Quaid as Alice, you got Meg Ryan as Kay, late James Caan as Roy, Gwyneth Paltrow as Ginny, and Scott Wilson as Elliot. Now in case you're unfamiliar with Scott, he was Herschel in The Walking Dead. He was the old guy that they cut the leg off. Anyway, this is not a light-hearted story by any means. You've got Alice, he's a young boy. I'd say he's around about 10 years old. He's got a little star tattoo on his hairline there, so you can tell his upbringing. Family find him outside their property. He seems a little bit lost. They take him in, they feed him, give him a bed for the night. I will point out that the family dog don't seem to trust him at all. Now, you should always trust your dog, and rightly so, because when everybody is asleep, he lets his dad in to rob the house. His dad is Roy, played by James Caan. The family wake up, they find Roy rifling through their stuff, and He kills them all, except for the little girl Ginny. He takes her with him. And the boy witnesses the whole carnage, Alice, and he is disturbed by the events, to say the least. Cut to a few years later, and he's working filling novel vending machines. Namely, there's a machine that he has these dyed chickens that he puts them in, and they're supposed to be intelligent, and you can pick your wits against them. Anyway, one night he's at a busy bar and he sees Kay, who pops out of the birthday cake, one of those girls. He gives her a lift home. As she's drunk, she actually pops out the cake and throws up over the person whose birthday it is. Now, Kay is played by Meg Ryan. Very different performance from her. Her usual roles are not like this at all. She actually made Sleepless in Seattle the same year as this one. Her husband's a deadbeat gambler, so not a very happy life there. Ginny is now grown up, the little girl that was in the house, and she's taken Alice's place. She's working funerals now with Roy, stealing jewellery from coffins. That's all I'm going to say story-wise. Don't expect happy ending. This is a neo-noir film, and that's not what they're all about. It's all about gritty realism and human nature. It's directed by Stephen Close, whose previous work includes The Fabulous Baker Boys. Again, very good picture quality, not exceptional, but these films of this age and type, you don't expect 8K clarity. This film's got a runtime of exactly 2 hours 6 minutes. Let's take a look inside. The front image has been put onto the disc, and on the reverse of the cover you got Alice and Roy there, played by Dennis Quaid and the late James Caan. So that was Flesh and Bone. Okay, next and last in this fantastic box set is Twilight. It's a thriller from 1998. This has got a remarkable cast. We'll start off with Paul Newman. He's Harry Ross. He's a private detective. He's working the case of a missing 17-year-old girl called Mel. He tracks her down to Mexico in a hotel, breaks into the hotel room, tries to take her home. There's a bit of a struggle. His gun drops to the floor. Mel picks it up and accidentally shoots him in the nether regions. Now, cut to a few years later, and he's living as a guest in the home of the clients who hired him. They are Jack and Catherine. They're played by the brilliant Gene Hackman and the wonderful Susan Sarandon. In the film, they are retired actors. Their daughter is Mel, played by Reese Witherspoon. She is the one responsible for shooting Harry where, you know, you shouldn't be shot. And obviously, they feel obligated to try and make it out to him, so they give him a home to stay. Now, Gene Hackman, who is in the film dying of cancer, he has roughly 10 months to live, and he asks Harry if he would deliver a package for him. And this is kind of where everything takes a turn for the worst. Cast in this also includes Stockard Channing as Harry's former colleague in law enforcement. There's also Liev Schreiber. He was Mel's boyfriend down in Mexico. You've got John Spencer from The West Wing, the late John Spencer. He was a great actor. James Garner's in this as well as M. Emmett Walsh and Clint Howard, who always pops up in films. So great lineup indeed. There's infidelity in this, betrayal and murder. So it's everything you want in a neo-noir film. Picture quality on this is absolutely crystal clear. It's got a runtime 1 hour 34 minutes. Let's take a look inside. So the image on the disc is from the front cover. And on the reverse of the cover you have Paul Newman talking to Susan Sarandon. So that was Twilight from 1998. So as I mentioned, there is a 60-page booklet. I'll put images up in the corner there. Really nice quality, high gloss on the cover. Lots of information about the film. This is a really good addition to the box set. Gives you a little bit more insight as to the films, as well as all the extras as well. So overall you get all that you need to watch these movies. So once again, thank you so much to Vision for sending me this set out to talk about on my channel. It is very, very much appreciated. I know they've sent another parcel out with tracking, so I'll keep an eye out for that one. All the links can be found down below to how to get all this beautiful box set. And remember, some of these films are exclusive to this box set and they are world first. And this is a limited box set as well, so don't delay. You don't want to miss out. So that is it. Have you seen any of those films or plan to pick them up or just want to leave a comment, then do so down below. I will read every single comment and try to reply if I have the time. Give the video a thumbs up, really does help the channel, and subscribe if you haven't. It's all free, why wouldn't you? And on that note, all that's left to say is thank you so much for choosing my channel today and watching my video. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.